Hey, it's Kat Bambini from Peace Point Productions, which is not launched yet. It's in embryo, making videos on narcissism for you to enjoy as I build my channel. And today I want to talk about narcissists and mind games. If you watch my channel, you know that I just have a particular knack for meeting these people I did in the past, not anymore. I know now what the behaviors are. That's why I'm trying to share them with you. So mind games, I did a really good video and it just kind of deleted off my phone randomly. It was weird. So I'm going to try again. But mind games they play are gaslighting. Basically, they tell you, this didn't happen. So this happened to me commonly, where it confused the heck out of me because I was so gullible and trusting that I was like, oh, that didn't happen? Okay. And just basically split into two people. There's a video called Mind Games and Control. I'll put a link down below. It just happens. It's they create a pseudo personality in you. I'll make a new video about that if there's a need, and they just make it so that you're easy to be their puppet. And so you don't want to be a puppet. Basically, you want to make sure that you always have your aura and your chakras clean, that you're doing some healthy behavior like yin yoga or eating healthy. I tend to eat a predominantly vegan diet. I don't think that makes me a better person. Well, it makes me not kill people, but I'm not going to get into any wars about what people do or don't do. What you do is your own, except don't hurt me and don't hurt the animals. Sometimes, some chickens I've definitely been responsible for a lot of chickens not having their lives, so I should be tortured a lot for that when I go into the afterlife. But, that's just what happens when you die is you dream. You dream. I've had a near death. You dream and you either come back or you don't. So I came back to talk about narcissism after, a series of unfortunate events in my life that caused me to be surrounded by a lot of people acting narcissistically who didn't want to admit that they were acting narcissistically, so they blamed me for it. And since I'm in show business, I do modeling, I do acting, I do music, it's very easy to blame people that are in the public spotlight for being narcissists. So the mind game that narcissists will play is that they'll project on you whatever they can't feel, and it's an unevolved method of just not handling their own emotions. So they're basically just children. They cannot handle their own emotions, they'll put them in you, but it becomes pretty malicious as they get older. They're not innocent 5-year-olds. They basically don't need my Bluetooth in. They basically will, treat you however they want to treat you because that's what they do. They don't care. You're just there for their needs. I mean, I need to reiterate that over and over again. If they're a narcissist, their narcissistic tendencies, they only care about their own needs. They care if they're unhappy. They care if they're lonely. They care if they're not getting their needs met. They don't care if you don't have the capacity to meet their needs. They just cannot assess an accurate needs assessment. Basically, they cannot assess that you're not there for that. And so they'll get very upset with you and they'll try to get mad at you for it. That's another mind game. Just try to act like you are supposed to give them what they need. And that's the biggest one. If you catch that in the beginning, just don't get caught in it. You'll meet them at parties sometimes. They'll be like, hey, can you do this for me? And all of a sudden you're roped into something and then you have a narcissist in your life. That's the best way for them to get in. Flattery is another game they play, mind game. They use coercive control, which is something people use in patriarchy unconsciously, I think, because I think we're trying to work on this in America, as far as I understand, in San Francisco. Maybe I'm in a bubble, but we are trying to work on equality, diversity and inclusion, all races matter, women matter, we're equal, we're not in a fascist country, not yet. So that's why I'm educating on abuse, and coercive control is one thing that is very, very common, especially for women. They control how you dress, how you eat, who you talk to, how much you sleep, even your bathroom time. And really pay attention to this. It starts to get scary when you realize you're caught in a relationship with one. So definitely get some support from outside organizations like the National Domestic Violence Hotline, or if you probably have many organizations in your area. I contacted every organization in my area over the period of time that I was dealing with a lot of these, and that's how I got out. I can thank them and thank my tax dollars for helping them to help me to get into a safe place, and I've been in a safe place for about 1.5 years now. I've had some trouble because it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go of narcissists. They do play mind games. They'll get in through email, text. No contact, I think, is the best solution if somebody's acting narcissistically, because you'll just know. Like when you talk with them, you just have a feeling that they're into some shit. You just know. You have this feeling that you've done something wrong because all of a sudden you'll just feel icky all the time and you don't know why. And it's probably related to that person because your gut and your conscience is telling you that's not a person you should hang out with because they're doing things that they're not being honest about. And I'm assuming that if you're watching this channel that you have integrity, you want honesty. Maybe you grew up in a religious background, maybe you didn't. I don't need you to. I'm definitely a nihilist, but I'm woo-woo, so you're gonna have a lot of fun here. And I do energy healing, and this is what I'm trying to do with the channel, is just energy heal with information and presence so that you have some support in your life dealing with these characters, because you're not gonna have support. Like, a lot of people are, it's hard right now. Eventually you will, because people are talking more about it, but at this moment, if you talk about it, people are like, oh, everybody calls everybody that, and oh, they're just in showbiz, or oh, this, that, and the other. No, it's definitely a thing that you're dealing with, and if you're here, you're probably dealing with it. You know something's wrong. The mind games, read Why Does He Do That by Lundy. It's a great book about violent abusers. That's where I started. And I also read books by, I think it's Barbara Ingalls. I keep mentioning her because she has a book called The Abused Woman. I hope I got her name correctly. Please ask me in the notes, the comments below, and please talk with each other about mind games. What mind games have the narcissists used on you? Really true. It's a safe place here. Nobody's gonna attack you. If they attack you, I'm gonna have a talk with them, and they're not gonna be allowed here. So if YouTube doesn't handle that, then I will, and I will delete it. I don't have any, if they have a problem with that, then I'll talk to their higher ups. I don't have a problem with confronting bullying at my channel, and so if you feel uncomfortable on this channel watching and you don't want to talk, that's fine. You're here, you can spy, you can snoop. There's nothing you're gonna find out that not everybody knows. I have a crush on somebody. Probably not gonna tell them because the narcissist in my life is gonna ruin it. Because they think I should be with them, and I have some loyalty to them, and I should have done this, that, and the other, but no, that's a mind game they play too, because they say they didn't do that, right? So if you had some reason that you left a narcissist, just hypothetically speaking, they would not validate that reason or change the behavior. That's the worst part when you leave, actually, because you expect like trumpets and things to change, and no, you're gonna be pointed out as, there's probably be a smear campaign. That's another game they play. So they just talk crap about you to people, or they spread little rumors like, oh, she's a drug addict, or oh, she used to be a drug addict, or something, that, and the other, and no, that's not true. But it's been spread about me, and definitely I was very sick for a long time after leaving very abusive situations that were well documented, and I got a lot of help leaving. And I didn't go public about it until I had to. And now that I'm public, I'm just like, well, you might as well get something out of it, you might as well learn something out of it. So dealt a lot with them, and modeling and acting, and any group I go to where I want to improve my skill set that's in the showbiz and the arts seems to have a lot of narcissists, and not everybody is a narcissist that's in showbiz, so it's, definitely have to distinguish that. Just because somebody's into themselves or they're promoting themselves, that doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. So you really have to know that there's a malicious aspect to a narcissist where they are using your energy and your time, and they're draining you, and it's not an agreement that you made with them. If you made a contract with them that I'll be your slave, sure, don't call them a narcissist, but you didn't. You never made a contract that you were their slave. They just kind of made you their slave, and now you're stuck in it, and you're like, oh my god, I have to watch Cappy Media's channel because I don't know how to get out of it. You could also watch Narcology. He's great. He's really religious. I don't mind that. I love when he prays for Jesus and the holy fire enters me. I have no problem with the Jesus archetype. It feels good. I have no problem with Dr. Romney. She's amazing. She's doing most formative work I've seen out here. Melanie, Tonia Evans. I mentioned them because these are the people that help me to be able to talk with you, and they are doing trailblazing work in quantum healing and stuff that you have to use if you're dealing with narcissists, because there isn't traditional methodology to heal from it. So you may have a problem finding a therapist, you may have to find a coach instead. That's fine. You don't have to find somebody who works with you, who's further along the road. I really think it's like self-help groups. When somebody's been through the same experience as you, they can help you. If you like their story, I'm totally gonna do the AA thing there, where it's like, or the NA, or the Children of Alcoholics, or any of those groups are great to go to just to make some friends, but they have dogma and cult programming I would not get involved with if you read materials about it. And I've been caught me brainwashed, I'll say that over again. So I know that those are happening, and people who are involved with them think that it's innocuous, but it's not. Try leaving the group, and try being on your own, and try having those same friends. I've managed it, but it's hard because it's a group think, and so it's like you're either this or that. So those are the rules. you got to be in the club. If you're not in the club, you know, if you don't want to be in a club, don't go. But if you need support and you need somebody who has a similar story to you and you're dealing with, say, substance abuse, or you're dealing with anything related to narcissistic abuse, because you could be dealing with this too, you could be dealing with substance abuse to cope, nothing wrong with it. You can read books by Gabor Mate. There's something called harm reduction. Don't be hard on yourself, because that's a trap too. If you get stuck into a situation where you're like, I'm a bad person because I'm this, and they should abuse me, that is the number one thinking I want to pull out of your head right now. Just pull it out. No. No. You're 100% equal. They cannot abuse you. They have no right to abuse you. They were never supposed to be abusing you in the first place. Once you figure it out, find out all the information you can, because you have to be really armed with knowledge. They're very good at mind games. They've been doing it their whole life. They get a kick out of it. They enjoy it. They enjoy seeing you squirm and cower, because they can't control your intimacy and your love. And so that's what they're doing, is they're manipulating your mind. They're basically wusses. So, you know, I'm not gonna call them names, but I'm gonna say that that's a wussy thing to do. You don't want to manipulate somebody's mind. You want them to organically love you from the heart, and you want to know that they love you for that reason. You don't because you're pulling their strings. It's just not a healthy relationship if you're in one to begin with. There's so many other things I can talk about here. Maybe I'll make a second video if this goes over well, but just the basics, you know, gaslighting, coercive control, look it up. There's a lot of PhD level papers you can read. I can tell you more about it. I've read a lot about it. It happened to me, and it's been happening to me through my life here in America. And as you can see, I just kind of do what I want, but you know, that's tentative as well. I have to have money to do that, and you know, I have to make money, so I have to work, and that's basically how it is. So for me, I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love the gods of luck to smile upon me. Anyways, I have to end this later.